that late game. So he kind of hits all of the bases that the LPL really want. And when you have a Jin, which I have a feeling should be contested or taken away, that they'll pair it in tandem with a a poke composition.
And it is a very highly contested champion between both Martin
and Jin
both Martin
Zhao.
as well as Jin Zhao. They both play the champion quite frequently. They've had a lot of games on it during the summer split of the LPL in particular. And we will have to check in and see if it does get contested between Snake and Aimee as we do head into the third match between these two teams. Snake will be on the blue side, Aimee this time around on the red side of Summoner's Rift. And the bans have already gone underway. Snake, they decided to want to take away Shen as well as Alistar. Aimee, on the other hand, they're going to take away Lysandra and Gragas as their first two bans. And there goes the Jin. They don't want to contest for Frostgoon. They just don't want Jin Zhao to play the champion.
I feel like that also kills my hopes of any sort of poke composition coming out of Snake, at least for this game, but we'll keep our eyes open for the rest of the series. I do like the fact that Aimee are sticking to their guns and making sure that Gragas does not see the field.
Rek'Sai is also going to be the final ban that comes out from Aimee. Very respectful towards SOFM's champion pool.
Does mean that they can priority that Nidalee pickup. Oh, but instead it's going to be the Elise, so not going for a poke composition, but certainly setting up for perhaps a pick composition.
Yeah, champion, I believe that's been banned out quite a bit in this series alone for Frostgoon. So Snake, lots of priority going on over towards the Elise.
Only once in the first game. That said, Nidalee, Graves, Hecarim still available, so a Voidless in a very comfortable setup should he look across any matchup.
Hey, well, we have seen Snake flex a Gragas pick. You know, throwback to season 1 when... not season 1. Throwback to when Elise was first released. It could be a top lane Elise. Who knows at this point?
If you're actually going to go for LCS, though. Oh, you're going full Chris. I was going to go daydreaming and say it's going to be support Elise. Too deep? Too far back?
Yeah, that's very far back.
That's my history of NA LCS for you. Good game university. Woo!
Who knows? It's probably going to go into the jungle first with him. It's more aggressive. It suits his playstyle a little bit more as well. We can use that to pick to get into the jungle of Aimee and also try and get his lane snowballing ahead to start games off. But Aimee, they're going to be taking away Graves as their first pick, and Vladimir is going to be locked in for the team as well. So
very similar draft rotation that we saw in game number 1. This should mean that Tank can go towards that Cassiopeia. He already showed that he's comfortable in that 1v1 matchup across from Vladimir. Likewise, Flandre looking back at Gangplank.
Could definitely try to lock this one in here today. And Vladimir's a pick that really surprised me because it was pick or ban, first pick or ban for so long in the LPL. Now teams are kind of just letting it fall through pick and ban.
This is what surprises me, is the fact that Ashe actually went through second rotation. You don't need to pick up your jungler in first rotation from Aimee because you know that it's going to be an Elise in that jungle position, so you can hold that one. I think it was a much higher priority on the AD carry, especially because Jin was banned, and Ashe is kind of the second go-to. I feel like now Jin Zhao really only has the option of Sivir. He is a phenomenal Sivir player, but Ashe has great counter windows from Sivir. If she throws out her Hawk Shot and baits out that spell shield, it's an easy arrow, or even worse, you can throw out the volley, eat the spell shield, and then it's an easier arrow.
It definitely would look like it, but I know this lane is one of your favorites of Frostgoon. The Mustache lane will be locked in for Snake, so very heavy in pick potential with their first 3 champion picks.
I just always have to emphasize the Mustache lane. I came up with it. It's where I hang my hat, Fish. It's the one good thing.
We know. I steal it from you whenever I get the chance to.
Just a lot of CC and control coming out of the lane. Again, we're seeing a high priority on Braum, especially because Alistar is banned away, which means that Ro really only has the option to go into those mage-oriented supports. No surprise to see him look towards his Bard. He does have the option of a Karma, although Karma has been adjusted on the 6.15 patch.
But he locks it in, so we will get to see Rhodes Brad. We'll get to see
Bardo.
Good old Bardo being picked up by Rode in this third match for Aimee, and Sivir gets locked in as well.
Wrong server, Fish, but it's okay. I wonder what Bard's Chinese nickname is, actually.
That would be interesting. I would like to learn that.
See, it's funny, in China, all the champions, they don't just translate their names, like Vladimir's not just translated to Chinese, they all have nicknames, like Annie is the Dark Child, Azir is the Golden Pigeon, so I'm very Kog'Maw's Big Mouth.
I really hope that he's just called Bardo in China. That would really make my day.
The Bardo.
The Bardo. On the flip side, Snake, they've locked in their final 2 picks. It's going to be Twisted Fate that gets picked up by Tank, a ban that we've seen targeted towards Athena and Baimi throughout this series, and Na gets locked in for Flandre.
And so again, Snake go for a very different composition. We had a Siege comp in Game 1, we had a 5v5 composition in Game 2, and this time around we have a pick composition. So taking that Twisted Fate, the Ash Arrow, as well as the Elise, I may have to be very careful and very alert on the map at all times. Eyes looking at Road. This is your time to shine, buddy. Don't get picked off.
Once Aime, once again, really sticking to the guns. Feels like they want to go for team fights for Oscar. Lots of mobility, lots of damage, and some decent crowd control coming out from their support.
And the other thing that I really like is the fact that they have a strong 2v2 on the top side of the map again. So SOFM, his jungle pathing, last game he took a bit of a backseat, had more traditional pathing, was more passive in his jungle, waiting for that big level 6. On Elise, a lot more immediate power, especially in the isolated 1v1. Graves versus Elise, it's really just about who uses Fog of War better, because either champion can win that matchup. On the other side, Flandre gets Gnar. He's a phenomenal Gnar player, which gives him so much power in that top lane, other than that gangplank.
But amazing Jay's to me picking up his Echo again. He had an MVP performance in game number 2 on the champion. Heading into game number 3, it's definitely something that Snake will be pretty intimidated by.
Have a feeling, though, that it's going to be 3 people, or at least a 2v3 on the top side of the map, especially with Tank having that Twisted Fate. Big thing about Vladimir is that he doesn't like to pick up the teleport. Instead, he has the Ghost, so he will not be able to follow Tank around this map.
And again, it's another adaptation coming out from Snake. They go for the pick team composition, trying to pick up individual members of Aime before they can get into that grouping 5-on-5 stage and try and dismantle Snake through great 5-on-5 play alone. I
was trying to write down the team compositions, and I see Bard, and I automatically just wrote Road. It's like the same thing with Marn and Rumble. I'm like, oh, he picked Rumble, writes Marn. They just go hand in hand. They're so synonymous with each other.
Well, let's see if good old Bard can take to Summoner's Rift here today and get Aime their second win in this Best 5 series over Snake eSports. We are on to Summoner's Rift for the third match of this Best of 5 series between Snake eSports and Aime. Game number 2, Aime fought back and tied this one right up. And Snake, once again, they've adapted their team composition. Aime sticking to their guns once again for Oscar, and they really want to look for these big 5-on-5 team fights.
Yep, but we'll see if Snake have adapted their level 1 again. We've seen some cheeky plays from them in both games. This time around, Aime seem to have caught on. They're much more protective about this jungle ramp.
Pretty much, they don't want Snake to move in towards the red buff here. Athena gets a cheeky transfusion off on towards SOFM, but some things never change, and that is Snake's level 1 shenanigans. They've even brought Tank down to the bottom lane this time round, trying to spot out to see if they start on the Gromp camp.
They're lane swapping.
No way.
Ooh, I'm excited now.
Aime are going to be lane swapping in 6.15.
Okay. So we'll see what they actually do with it. It could be that they just get an initial hard shove, try to bounce it off the tower, and then try to beat Snake in a tempo advantage before a quick itemization and rushing bot to match the 2v2. It also looks like they're going to try to put SOFM behind, waiting for a very delayed invade. They will be spotted out. Oh, yes, there we go. By this ward.
Great
so FSM is just going to move to his wolf camp.
Yep, really good ward coming out from Aime. Spots out from Snake, sorry, spots out the level 1 shenanigans coming out from Aime, and he moves all the way down to the red side of his jungle. This is going to be interesting. 6.15 lane swap. Top lane turret fortification is online. Bottom lane is incredibly vulnerable. Damage will be reduced by 50% to start off this game.
Which means that if Aime continue into this lane swap, that Snake have an inherent advantage because of that fortification difference. So we'll see what Aime choose to do here, if they're going to stick it through and have a very traditional lane swap where they try to pull everyone to the top side, build up waves, and just try to brute force the tower down, or if they're just going to try to bounce the wave and find an initial Cole or Doran's Blade advantage before matching the 2v2 bottom. And it looks like that's what they're going to do.
Immediately, Aime just push out the top lane, in teleport straight back down to the bottom lane, going to try and catch that wave.
So again, this is fine. They were just prioritizing interrupting SOFM and messing around with his jungle pathing, which I actually think is very smart from Aime before not necessarily going for the orchestrated lane swap, but just trying to target, find Snake's jungler.
Well, it's not enough for them to pick up the Cole in the bottom lane for the Sivir, but does pick up a pink ward and a couple of potions for himself. Snake, though, trying to interrupt this return to the base.
This is a very cute play, especially because he's going to probably look to place that pink ward.
SOFM will get caught out. He's going to try and go over the ward here, but here comes Flyandre and Jay-Z. They cut them off from returning to the lane. I mean, it's 6:15 for Oscar, but Snake, some things don't change, and they know exactly how to navigate around these lane spots.
And this is something that can be said for Snake. Yes, they're forever 4th, forever 5th, but they are one of the most innovative teams in the LPL when it comes with playing around with these level 1s.
Rhodes been locked down, trying to get into the safety of his turret. One last auto attack would have been enough.
Done.
There's the heal, but it's on top of an ignite.
Oh,
Cocoon
good
goes
flash.
forward, will flash away from it. Rhodes trying to get the stun down onto Martin, but it's not enough. SOFM picks up first blood, and even a teleport into the bottom lane from Amazing Jay.
Disaster strikes for Aime. They tried so hard to put down SOFM, even attempting the initial point of a lane swap, or technically it was really just a delayed invade on the Elise, but in the end he ends up with the first blood. They end up matching the TP discrepancy. In fact, Flandre gets a lot more time with that creep wave, and SOFM will pick up the enemy blue buff.
Aime tried to be cheeky. They tried to execute a little bit of a lane swap. Snake just responds so well. That was beautiful to watch.
They were just all in on it too. The fact that Jin Zhao bounces the wave and he doesn't pick up a Cole or Boots or anything, he didn't have the gold, but he just picks up the pink ward because it's about putting the importance of finding SOFM. You know, we're going to defensively pink our own jungle, and we're going to find that guy on the map.
Well, that guy actually found you. He picks up first blood. Still sitting on his Hunter's Machete as well as the potions for now on the Elise. Mid lane, Tank and Athena going to be battling out. Was isolated for some time due to the level 1 and early shenanigans we saw from the two teams. Vivolis is trying to see if he can wrap around this mid lane and get a gank on over towards Tank.
His wave's not in a great position.
Here he comes, will dash on forward, gets the slow from the red buff, but just gets the Thunderlord's proc as well as a decent chunk of damage onto the Vladimir.
SOFM's actually pinging for a counter gank though, and Tank is actually just potting up, so he wants to try to stick out this lane phase.
But he does have a Bard wrapping around the back here. Aime being a little bit cautious about SOFM. He's gone for the Gromp camp. Jay-Z will be able to back him up. And this is something we've seen from Snake support recently. Every single time SOFM goes for these aggressive invades, he's always close by to back him up if he needs the help. But Rhodes being caught out. He's level 2. He's got no flash. There's an Elise on top of him. SOFM gets another kill on the bottom lane.
Road, again, is the guy who's being caught out. Again, when Road looks good, Aime tend to win the game. If he's set behind as their shot caller, things tend to go problematic. This is dangerous. SOFM, okay. I was going to say SOFM smoted. He used smite on the Gromp.
Yep, he used smite.
Which makes tower dives really dangerous because anytime he walks up, if you just auto attack him and the Gromp, you immediately take tower aggro. So I like the fact that he was like, pump the brakes, hold up, we're not diving this. Jake's actually very adamant that a jungler should almost never smite Gromp because of this.
Jake's just very adamant that supports should be smiting Gromp.
It makes perfect sense.
For supports to smite Gromp?
No, he plays support Alistar with smite, but the idea that smiting Gromp makes tower dives much less likely with the jungler having that buff.
And they did also see Avoilus in the bottom lane trying to keep Jin Zhao company while he awaited the return of his support.
Round 2.
Still being very aggressive on the bottom side of the map. I don't think I've seen him towards the Crow camp this time around. Instead, he's very adamant about helping out Snake's bottom lane.
Well, they are pushed forward, so needs to make sure that he's there in case of a counter gank.
Tank.
Noted that Tank is level 6. Now, Martin is not. He's about halfway to level 6, just under halfway.
Here he goes. Rhodes still doesn't have his flash available. Tank and a flash on forward. He's been locked down. They are picking on this poor kid, Frostgird. He's only worth 220 gold.
And we're back in a drag race scenario. It's a straight shot. Snake have their very clear-cut win conditions.
Here's the
right
real
now
target.
It's on Jin Zhao.
They want Jin Zhao. Concussive blow is going to be locking him down. He lives to tell the tale. Athena actually takes down Tank. Turret aggro not going in their favor. Tower dive does not even pick up Jin Zhao.
Okay, bit overzealous.
bit?
We're still only level 5, guys. Calm down. Pump the brakes.
Calf this ult, please.
There's a slight bend in the road.
The toboggan's going to sway left sometimes for Oscarin.
With all of that happening, though, really the primary victor here is the Voidless, who's like, this wolf camp, it's mine. But he has a slight CS advantage on SOFM now, and by slight, I literally mean 1.
Yep.
But he was behind, so...
1 CS for Voidless. That's
We're gonna
fantastic.
Put it in the good column.
Yep, put that in the good column. I think not good. It would be SOFM with 3 kills here for Oscarin. All of them going on over towards Road. If he is the key to IMA's success, this is not looking good.
Well, SOFM is the hinge on which Snake's success often swings, as is Tank, who has his Destiny available still. This is pretty gutsy.
So going to try and take blue buff away from SOFM.
Like
Does
how
successfully get it.
Road has just given up. He's like, I can't be in this lane. It's too dangerous. I'm going to roam around, defensively ward the jungler.
I want my chimes. We'll eventually pick them up. Get a little bit of experience from it. Try and catch up. SOFM's being caught out by the Cosmic Binding. Jin Zhao does rotate over. Spider has to be a little bit careful, but he just gets chunked out. No problem. We'll head back to base.
The dangerous thing for Road is not only the fact that he's still level 3, but the fact is that Martin has his Ash Arrow now available, so it's very dangerous for this Bard to be overextended in a lane that was pushed forward. So good use of time while he's waiting for that wave to bounce back. You know, figure out where SOFM is, try to offer more safety to the rest of his map.
Easy SOFM. He also picked up his Moby boots, looking for the components of his Runic Echoes. Going to be very fast in the jungle, move around the map very quickly, and will have good burst damage once that completes.
I have a feeling he wants to kill Road.
You have a feeling?
Yeah.
I know he wants to kill Road.
Oh, no.
He's going for it again. The ward comes over the wall. The pink wall was there previously from SOFM to try and capitalize on this situation. Flash will be back up for Road shortly. Instead, when you take something away from SOFM for Oscar, and he always takes it back.
It's like a leave Brittany alone situation at this point. Just leave Bardo alone.
Poor old Bardo. He just wants to collect his chimes and have a magical time. It's not going to happen here today. They're still picking on him. He's trying to stop SOFM from taking away these camps. He's just keeping him occupied, keeping him company. Gromp camp is SOFM's this time around.
Here comes a Voidless, though. Likewise, Vladimir does have the inside track here. Again, Tank does have Destiny. Okay, so the mid laners are not going to follow. Vladimir's just making sure that Twisted Fate can't collapse by standing in Fog of War.
But again, Jay-Z always behind SOFM, something we didn't see when he first joined Snake. Now they're working a lot better as a jungle support duo.
Yep, and they do manage to bully SOFM out of the jungle.
What?
Yeah. Wait, arrow?
It's back in there.
He's trying to get in.
I don't know if you've seen this guy before, Frosco, and he does not leave the opposite jungle. Can you see how many camps are open on his side of the map?
I feel like he's that guy that is climbing in the window. Like, I may walk into their living room, and this guy's, like, literally got his leg and his arm, and he's just, like, peeking in through the living room window, has their TV already in his back pocket. Get out!
Comes back in, takes the couch while he's still sitting on it. Pretty much sums up SOFM.
He kills you while you're on the couch.
Goodness. That got dark real quick.
That's Road's life right now. This guy is 0-3-0 at 10 minutes in the game.
Destiny coming in behind Road.
4-0.
Gets hit by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Tank takes him down. Road is still level 4. Jin Zhao's the next target. Tank picks up a double kill in the bottom lane. And disaster strikes for Aimee.
And there's zero response because on the top side, Flandre's about to go Mega Gnar.
Well, let's see if there is a response. There's the Mega into Amazing J under the
that
turret.
ult.
Gonna take him down really low. Ulti comes out. Good flash from Flandre. Amazing J will flash away from the turret as well. Good tower dive from Aimee.
So great execution. Aimee are able to get a counterplay out of that gank on the bottom, but meanwhile, the power of Elise and the steroid that she brings on her W, they're able to push through with the blue card, as well as that the Spiderlings, and take 2 towers for just the Flandre kill.
They got 2 kills in the bottom lane as well. For 2-for-1 trading kills, 2 turrets for 1 traded as well in favor of Snake. They're now 3,000 gold up ahead of Aimee just 11 minutes into this game. Using that pick comp phenomenally to single out one member of the team, and that's been Road. He has been under constant pressure from this Elise.
He's still only level 5 right now. See if he can get Jay-Z.
He was trying. He's not going to get it. Instead, goes back, picks up his good old chimes. He needs a couple of those now, Frosker. Things are not looking good.
On the bright side, he's not worth any gold anymore.
That is true.
Tough life.
Eventually, once he picks up an assist, he will regret his decision and think about his life choices again.
Oh, that damage though.
Good damage coming out from Tank, training back and forth with Athena quite nicely. He's holding his own against this Vladimir fairly well despite being 30 CS down. He's been a huge pivot point for Snake to try and get these picks.
There's a dive coming on the mid lane though.
Yes, be careful.
Amazing J has been unlocked from his tower.
There goes Tank, locked down by Parallel Convergence. Amazing J gets another kill. Avoidless is rotating up. Arrow will not connect, but there goes Flandre. He misses the jump. Jay-Z flashing on forward, trying to get concussive blows down. He has to be careful though, because the rest of IMA are chasing on towards the support. SOFM has been locked down by Junjiao and Road. Still fairly squishy on this Elise, so has to back away. A good rotation from IMA gets themselves a pick and forces Snake to retreat to base.
And finally, IMA looking alive again. They're very used to scrappy, skirmish style of play, so it's nice to see them take the proactive charge, unlock Amazing J on that Echo, and try to make something happen in the mid lane. Now contesting SOFM's camps.
And speaking of SOFM, you know, he's been tunneling on the bottom lane this entire time. His counterpart of Voiles has taken every single blue buff away from him in this game, making sure that Tank does not have that infinite mana regeneration source. Flandre being a little bit cheeky, trying to shove people away from his side of the jungle. Tank looking for a Destiny, it seems, towards the top lane. Going for it, actually. Gets the Sun Kana towards the Voiles. Parallel Convergence will not lock anyone down. SFM goes in, looking for the dive. Flashes forward, gets the point by Cocoon. Amazing J forced to use the ultimate. They go back in on top of him and take him down. But there's Athena, flashes forward. The Tides of Blood will be popped and take down the jungler.
But this isn't just a one-for-one trade, and it's not just losing the jungler. Also, the towers will fall, but more importantly, it's that the Vladimir just got a massive shutdown bonus on SOFM.
Certainly did. Now it's 4-1-1. Snake, though, have a massive mini wave that they're trying to walk on towards the top lane in a turret. They will slowly push this one out. Athena's there to collect up the wave for himself and will be able to defend the turret. Even meanwhile, IMA on the bottom side of the map will get some good chip damage on towards this, but there's a teleport to the top side of the map. IMA looking to engage. It's an Amazing J again. Surprise, Tank. You're going to have to run away. Gets slowed down by the time winder. Speed up. Comes out for Amazing J. Tank has to flash away. Here comes Brom. Can't get him to stand behind him as Avoidless will pick up the kill with his ultimate.
And again, IMA slowly taking ground on this map. They're now looking towards the mid lane. Road finally has his ultimate available, so a dive. Nope, they're interrupted by Flandre.
Finally has his ultimate. 14 minutes into this game, Road finally hits level 7.
An incredibly fast and furious game so far between these two teams.
You know what? Despite Road being locked down so early, he is a level above Jay-Z.
Well, Jay-Z's been wandering around the map for quite a while now.
He certainly has. IMA in the meanwhile will pick up an Infernal Dragon as the first dragon of the game. So things have looked really difficult for them this entire match, but at least they're trying to pull back as we approach the mid-game where IMA really just start to shine.
Now Snake, they just need to step back, take a deep breath, reset the map, and look for a pick on the mid lane. They have the Ash Arrow, use Fog of War to your advantage. Start setting up these picks, go back to basics, and stop running around the map and causing chaos.
Have you met Vladimir?
He's got his W.
He's a difficult champion to pick off in this mid lane.
You don't have to hit Vladimir.
That seems like the only person they're going to be sending to the mid lane for now. As Avoidless continues to clear out his jungle. There's an arrow in towards the jungle of IMA. Looking to lock down Avoidless. And there you go, Frosker. It wasn't the Vladimir. Instead, they go for the Graves. Next up is Athena. They were trying to lock him down. Jay-Z jumps forward, gets people to stand behind Brom. And now Snake look for the push.
Still going to be relatively difficult to chip away at this tower, especially when you have Vladimir and Sivir standing in front of you. They're looking for the dive, though. Flandre doesn't have Meganar available. Yeah,
all the rotation,
that's not a good idea.
All the rotation into the bottom lane could potentially what they're trying to cut off there. But everyone from IMA just stands strong. Tank almost gets knocked down by Athena.
They don't have a lot of options on the map is the problem. There's no dragon in play, so it's not like the pick means anything of the jungler. They can't immediately rotate it into contesting an objective because the wave clear's still alive. There's no monster objective for them to take, so it's really just pocket gold.
It certainly is. Now Martin's on the top side of the map. He's clearing out this top wave for himself. Picking up gold wherever it is safe for him to do so. Amazing Jake farming up the Krug camp. The rest of the team actually rotating towards the top side of the map.
They will have Martin's arrow available as well as the numbers.
Got what he came for. Got the Krug camp. Worth it. SFM finds Avoidless trying to rotate towards the top side of the map. Flandre as well as Martin, getting some good damage on towards this turret. Road will slowly rotate up.
And this is good chip damage because, again, they're moving around away from this Vladimir and Sivir wave clear. As Jin Zhao is pulled up into the top side, Snake are smartly saying, okay, the wave clear's here, now pick a different lane, catch them cheating through their own jungle. They have the Ashe Arrow backup and available, so pick comp back online.
Look to try and push through the mid lane. SOFM almost gets caught out by the Cosmic Binding. A good repel avoids so much crowd control. He'll jump back down now, trying to scuttle away. The Intimacy Spider is going to be really fast, but so squishy and gets taken down. Now, Aimee looking for the team fight. The Hemo Plague was popped by Athena just to separate the team. And Macy J going to run into Flandre. Nah comes out. He has to jump away. He's exhausted as well, but a big pick comes out for Aimee.
Because, again, the pick composition only works if you're the proactive member using it. Instead, Aimee find the advantage. Immediately delete SOFM. They don't gain any sort of objective off of it, but this is just, again, more wasted time and pressure that Snake were trying to set up.
And it means that Aimee stop the bleeding and slowly start to heal back up and recover in this third game.
It's definitely a transfer of momentum as we're now in a position where they're setting up a trap, so trying to be proactive.
But first up, they look to take away the red buff from SOFM. Avoidless, one thing he has been doing good this entire game is making sure he takes away every single jungle camp he can get his hands on.
And now back to resetting the map.
So the gold is 1,000 gold in favor of Snake at the moment, and this is with them having a turret advantage. Aimee do have that single Infernal Dragon, so we'll scale up nicely into the late game. And Snake's team comp slowly feel like it's getting a little bit less effective as this game goes on.
It's still effective if executed properly, which is like this.
Which is what they're trying to do onto a Mason J on the top side of the map. The Cocoon will come out, lock him down. Another stun card to keep him locked down and stunned up. SFM gets another good pick on the top side of the map. We'll have to check in and see what objective they can take out of it.
Again, it's making plays away from the Sivir and away from the Vladimir, so you can try to chip away at these standing structures. Although they don't have the creep wave behind them, and someone will need to respond to the pressure point that Jin Zhao has made bottom.
Which is going to be Martin. The Ashe heads down to the bottom lane, trying to farm up that wave. Does have the Runan's Hurricane completed, as well as a BF Sword. Should be looking towards an Infinity Edge next. Could potentially be the Essence Reaver, but we normally see Ashes rush that first if it is their item of choice.
I feel like it's going to be upgraded boots too, and then into flat AD, especially because you probably won't have enough gold to finish both before this next dragon, although it's only a Cloud Drake.
Athena getting locked down by the Cocoon coming out from SOFM. They get some good chip damage on a Vladimir, but it's a Spirit Visage Vladimir that's rushing straight into a Rhino's Crystal Scepter next. He's going to be incredibly tanky as we approach the mid-game, especially through all the magic damage that SOFM and tank dish out.
So right now, what's happening on the map is that the mid laners and the AD carries, respectively, are kind of taking turns in between their waves. Obviously, you never want your mid laner and your AD carry standing next together unless a play is happening, simply because then they have to split their resources within the lane. So Jin Zhao farming top, Athena farming mid, and we're just bouncing waves back and forth, trying to get to those item breakpoints. So a very calm section of the game.
Certainly are. Martin now trying to farm up the mid lane. Tank has gone back to base, picked up his Lich Bane, still has his finished Codex as well as the Negatron Cloak to reduce some of the damage that comes out from Athena and Amazing J. And Aimee really looks like just waiting for the Dragon to come back up online. Seems like it's swinging in their favor as this game gets later and later.
And we'll see if Snake contests for it. It's really not about the Dragon. He's looking for the arrow. It's more so about if they think they're strong enough to take a 5v5 and use that as a momentum swing. Martin does have his finished attack speed as well as the flat AD. There's the start.
Tempered Fate locks down Tank. Jay-Z's going to get him to stand behind Brom. He's going to tank up a lot of the damage. Tank was looking for the Sun card, and Teleport does get cancelled by Amazing J.
And that's two big ultimates down for Aimee right in time for this Dragon to spawn. Here's the arrow. Oh!
Doesn't connect, but they still go through. There's the Destiny. SOFM picks up that first kill. So they do get the pick they were looking for, and there's a Teleport coming out from Na as well. Aimee, meanwhile, were able to take down the Dragon. Snake baiting out a Baron buff. A wall was placed down. Flandre jumps over the pit, clears out that Vision Ward. Aimee, they're not taking this buff. They're just going to push down mid lane. That means Snake would have to try and start this Baron, but they're still trying to wait for this one.
Oh,
Martin's
no.
in Vision. They spot him out, but then Amazing J goes in. Big Hemo play comes out from Athena. So much AoE damage on towards Snake's team. Athena goes on a killing spree. Flandre is trying to stay alive. Martin gets a kill for himself, but now he's stuck. And it's going to be the ace that comes out from Snake.
Disaster for Snake, a slight mechanical misstep from Martin, not inside the bush, just means that the rest of the cooldowns that I may have up, they just dump on that one bush and run over them.
They certainly do, and they pick up 4 kills. Not quite the ace. Aimee looking so strong. This was Snake's game to win. They completely shut down that bottom lane.
The reason why Snake were so aggressive thinking that they could contest the Baron, though, is because those 2 big cooldowns in the Tempered Fate and the On the Hunt weren't there. But just... execution error. Slight execution error.
And it was a 4v5 as well. They even went to try and start up the Baron. They were just lost because Aimee called their bluff. You know, they're like, okay, if you're really at Baron, we're going to take your mid lane turret. Let's see who pulls the trigger first. They take Baron damage. They can't stay in the brush properly. They don't know how to stand still, Frosker. And
it goes back to this storyline of the LSPL teams. You know, we've seen so many LSPL teams fail. Gu and Snake, they stand out to people because they're the few and far between. You have Game Talents, Masters 3, World Elite Academy, Energy Pacemaker, all Hyper Youth Gaming, and everyone who's watching this for the first time is like, who are those teams? Exactly. They all got relegated. The only 2 LSPL teams that have really ever become anything were Gu, now known as Newbie, guess who's in relegations, and Snake. And Snake really still haven't outgrown their LSPL habits. There's always going to be that 4th, 5th place team until they can step up.
Let's see if they can step up here in this next pick. Avoidless is the target, but a good Tempered Fate saves him from the Ash Arrow. And now it's Aimee to want to try and turn around this fight. Athena looking to get the Crimson Rush and charge on towards Snake's team. Big ultimates have been burnt by Snake, trying to get that one pick, but Road stepping up the later this game goes.
And this is an issue with compositions that, oh, hold on.
They're looking for Tank. Good stun on towards Tank. He takes a lot of damage from the Boomerang Blade. They're now chasing him down. Flash forward for Jinjiao, gets the kill. Flandre, the next target, going to be locked down by Smokescreen. Has to flash over the wall. JZ uses the ultimate nice and early to keep himself alive. Will jump over towards Flandre, but they're just chasing them around the map and trying to take structures after.
Rule number 1, never cheat in front of the enemy team. Tank mispositions and costs his team huge.
And Aimee, they take the gold lead for themselves. 3,000 gold up now, and they brute force their way through the mid lane to take down the inhibitor turret.
That is a disaster. Losing so much pressure on the map. Fortunately for them, it's not a bottom inhibitor, so it's not that extreme a pressure point that Aimee can now bounce between the Baron, but not where Snake want to be at 24 minutes in the game.
Exactly that. And the Snakes, their team comp just doesn't scale as well as the team fight that Aimee have coming into this game, but they're trying to force down this Baron. They've already started this one up. Athena is in the pit. They do have Amazing Jade. Going to deal with the bottom lane that's pushing on towards his inhibitor. Does have a teleport available if he needs to pull the trigger. Pinkward is in the back of the Baron pit. Snake decide they don't want to clear up this ward. Instead, focusing on taking down the Baron. 3,000 health. Now down to 2,000, but they go for the fight instead. Athena's going to be able to take down their support to start things off. Tank, he's exhausted. Athena's in the back lines. Heals up so much. Trying to run away from Martin. Will survive. And Snake are just getting obliterated. There's only Tank left, and thank you very much for the leash, says Aimee, as they take down the Baron buff. Teleport has to come out from Tank as well to get back to safety. And what a catastrophe for Snake.
Bad to worse is what just happened. What a disastrous call from Snake. There was no way they had the damage to burn that. Gonna take a look at the replay here. Again, the biggest issue is the fact that Snake think that they can do this quick enough. Again, it's only 24 minutes in the game. They don't necessarily have an objective burning composition. I may literally wait for Snake to lose pretty much half their health across multiple members, and then just steamroll and run them over with the On the Hunt ultimate, turn to the Baron at, 1,000 HP and finish it off.
I'm gonna quote an old school support player elements on this one. Desperate Baron never fails, but unfortunately in this situation it has failed for Snake. They give it over to Aimee, they get the 4 kills in that team fight again, and now it's just swung completely in their favor. 8,000 gold up ahead of Snake eSports. And Aimee looking really strong again in game number 3.
And you have to think that Snake and Snake fans alike just flashing before their eyes every time right before the finish line. Snake have had 2 back-to-back second-place finishes in the LPL, have looked so good. They're the only LSPL success story left. But they always get into the playoffs and just immediately tank.
It seems like a lot of teams get the playoff buff heading into it, Frostgrim, but not Snake. It's the playoff debuff. As Aimee looking to push through the bottom lane inhibitor. If the damage was dealt in the mid lane, they're definitely dealing more on this bottom lane. Inhibitor will fall down. SFM can't do anything except protobelt his way into the team, dealing whatever chip damage he can at the moment. But Snake, they just don't have any way to fight back right now.
They only have a single inhibitor left to their name. with 2 pressure points that Aimee can play around, as well as plenty of time left on this Baron buff, you have to think that Snake are standing on their last leg. If they lose this game, it's set match for Aimee in game number 4.
And what a big story it would be for Aimee as well. They're a team, you know, fresh out of the LPL, previously EDG's sister team, EDE.
Come into Group B, managed to take 3rd. Group B is undisputably the much tougher competition throughout the LPL.
It's a team that's had a lot of criticism this entire split, looking strong in this 3rd game as they do lock down Tank with the parallel convergence. He has to flash away from the fight just to kick things off. Amazing J being a disturbance in the backline. Here goes Athena on top of Martin. Hemoplague's going to pop this Ashe down as he jumps forward, gets the final transfusion. Destiny coming only into the base for Take, trying to defend his team. All the inhibitor turrets are down. Aimee just pushing through towards the Nexus. And it looks like they want to just close out the game here, Frostgrid.
Vladimir was love-tapped on 6.15, but still looks plenty strong to me. Athena just 1v3'd in that backline.
He certainly did, and on top of that, all the Nexus turrets have gone down. Aimee, with a comeback after the disastrous start, are able to take game number 3 away from Snake eSports.
And seem to have found their comfort with moving from Baimi to Athena in that mid lane. We'll see if they keep him from for game number 4. But Aimee are looking to close out and move into the semifinals.
This feels like deja vu from yesterday, Frostgrid. Newbie took game 1 over LGD. Looked like they were going to do really strong. And then disaster strikes. Same goes for here. Game 1, Snake open up, look really good with an interesting team comp. And then Aimee just stick to their guns and just walk all over them.
I mean, this is past just being unlucky for Snake. This has happened too many splits in a row, and I feel like now it's just a curse.
It certainly feels like one, Frostgrid. And like we were mentioning before that team fight, you know, every single team in the LPL feels like when it comes towards playoffs, they get a playoff buff. LGD is a big one. Invictus Gaming had it for some time. Every other team, including Aimee, looked like they got it too. But Snake, as soon as it gets to playoffs, that just drops off.
And you have to think that this is actually just a really good stylistic match for Aimee. The fact is that they're not a very versatile team. They pretty much have one style of composition that they like to play. You'll kind of sub in a few champions, but it's going to be the same thing almost every single time. But they excel in the area where Snake are weakest, and it's in their ability to skirmish and team fight.
And they take advantage of that fantastically. And it was a great start for Snake as well. This is where disaster struck.
Oh,
goodness.
No. I'm going to blame that on Braum. I mean, his childbearing hips are just too big. Just pushed Ashe out of the bush. Stand behind me.
Why was nobody in the banana brush, Frostgrid? That's, you know, separate your team. Can't get all your hit by the Hemoplague.
Don't bring logic into this. As
Disaster.
we now look at the Hail Mary Baron call, it was effectively the Desperation Baron at its finest, and this was really the nail in the coffin for Snake.
Even to add insult to injury, the Vladimir lives while the rest of the team just takes down Martin in the back lines there. And Snake, they tried their best. They got so many picks onto Road. Road looked shut down in that game. That's not enough, apparently.
But when you're expending so many key cooldowns on picking off the support that isn't worth any gold anymore, as opposed to hitting the AD carry, hitting the jungler, or hitting the mid laner, you're going to lose out in the long run. And that was really the key in the turn there, is that Aimee know that Ashe Arrow is down. Yes, they took our support, but it doesn't matter because we have all this power left.
Exactly that. Snake try a pick comp. It doesn't work. Aimee stick to their guns and turn out strong in that game number 3 to make the series 2-1. But it's still a best of 5. It's match points for Aimee. Let's see if they can close it out as we go to the next game in just a bit.